Sure. Mill 3. Oh, we're just securing the victory. Whatever. I don't know. I am sorry, Merched. I know what this feels like, and it's not good. But it is a fun deck. I will say that. Everyone that enjoys blue, everyone that enjoys control and mill and all that kind of stuff, it's a nice one. It is a nice one. Oh, they're going so hard on this card. What's up, everybody? My name's Chance, and today we're gonna be What's up, everybody? My name's Chance, and today we're gonna be burying our foes in blue. That's right, we're playing a mono blue burying books deck. Well, this was the card that sort of inspired me to build this deck. This and the fact that I've sort of been on a spree of building, whatever, monocolored decks. So, you know, yesterday we had the mono white deck. Today we have mono blue. I think this card is super effective. It's one of those Strixhaven sleepers. I think, you know, Strixhaven was a little bit of a sleeper all together as a set. But I think this card is for sure being slept on. It's a common card. It's 5 mana, instant speed. The spell costs 2 less to cast, though, if it targets an attacking creature. And for the large majority, it will be targeting an attacking creature. However, whenever you cast it, you're going to put target creature into its owner's library, second from the top. So it's not going immediately back on top of the library where they can immediately recast it. It's going tucked down in there. So if it's a big creature, it's, you know, it's not next turn that you have to deal with it again. You get a little bit of tempo play out of it. It's only 3 mana, super good, instant speed, fantastic. If it's a bad creature, you're making them redraw that card. You know, if this is turn 5, turn 6, whatever, and they have a 1 mana creature that just so happened to got a lot of counters on it, looking at you, mono white aggro, and then you bury that card back into their deck, well, it loses all the counters, and now they're drawing a 1 mana creature where they could have been drawing a Maul, right? You put that Maul, the Skyclaves, 1 card deeper. You put that Heliod 1 card deeper thanks to this card. So I really just wanted to do a little quick intro on that card and why I think it's so effective, and, well, people aren't really using it to its full degree, I think. But anyways, diving into the full entirety of the deck, this is sort of a beatdown, also mill deck. We do have Ruin Crab and Teferi's Tutelage, and then we have a slew of ways to sort of benefit those 2 cards, right? With the, you know, card draw. Didn't Say Please is nice counter magic to build us up into the end of the story, which of course allows us to draw more cards, which allows us to mill more cards, and so it all sort of feeds back into itself. But the thing that I was really concerned with is we have all of this sort of setup here, but is the deck good enough to deal with like an aggro deck, with a beat you down deck, with the in your face deck? And you know, I'm kind of happy to say, yeah, we went up against a mono white aggro deck today, and it took a long time, but we did take them down. And it's mostly thanks to this card and you know, a few others in the deck, which I'll get around to. Avalanche Caller came out and called time, but the nice thing with this card is it's not a tap ability. As soon as this card comes down, as soon as this 1/3 body comes down, it's a 1/3 body, so hello, goodbye aggro. We can block them for the large majority. Furthermore, you can pay this spell, this ability, whatever, however many times you can afford it, right? So 2 mana, pop a 4/4 up. So essentially 3 mana, you can have a 4/4 on command, right? So 6 mana, you can have 2 4/4s on command, which is generally enough to help block out the board or do whatever. Now you need to be a little careful with your blocking. You obviously don't want to be sacrificing your lands to stuff, because then you're going to be going backwards, not forwards, right? But it is still a fantastic card, and I felt like, again, it needed a little conceptual piece there. So this is a budget deck as well. I know I didn't mention that in the beginning, but it is completely budget friendly. The only cards we have in here are, well, really cards that I don't even end up using in the video, but we do use 1 Shark Typhoon, but you know, I think they're not needed. They're fun if you got them, and I think it does certainly add to the ability to win, but again, not needed. So we have Allrun's Epiphany, taking an extra turn for a mill deck where you can draw a lot of cards. I feel like, you know, it's pretty obvious with what it does. Shark Typhoon, for the large majority, you'll be cycling this and getting that instant speed shark to sort of dominate your foe, you know, at flash speed. But on the rare occasion you can hardcast a Shark Typhoon, you know, you have plenty of instants and sorceries, plenty of non-creature spells to proc that thing. Anyways, looking at the rest of our deck, we have Icebind Pillar, another card coming out in Kaldheim that I think kind of got slept on. But again, once this card comes down, it's 3 mana to enter in. 1 mana, tap target artifact or creature. You can tap the opponent's Great Hinge in their upkeep, so they can't use that mana to cast creature spells. It's really good. You can use it to tap their biggest creature. Goodbye Vorinclex for 1 mana every turn. So this deck is all about tempo and mill to a degree. You can also beat your opponent down with the Avalanche Caller 4/4s, because They have hexproof and haste, so the opponent can't necessarily target and be like, hey, you know, get out of here, land, what are you doing? Because it just comes up, it's untargetable, has haste, beats them down, and, you know, you go on about your business. Another card that's worth mentioning, definitely worth you taking note of when you're playing, is Lull Mage's Domination. This is a great way to take your opponent's biggest creature, the strongest creature, the most important creature, and turn it against them, right? You can take a Ludus or a Vorinclex or a Yorion or whatever, right? We have a couple copies of Mystical, Jawari, Test of Talents. We got a ton of counter magic in this deck because obviously if you're just relying on milling and a few creatures here and there, you're going to want to make sure that you can control what your opponent's actually getting through the door, so to speak, right? Another card that came out in Kaldheim. There's a lot of Kaldheim cards in here that's just, they're blowing me away how much value came out in the commons and uncommons of Kaldheim. Anyways, Bond the Monsters, 1 mana. 1 mana. When Bond the Monsters enters the battlefield, tap enchanted creature. It deals damage to you equal to its power, yes. But enchanted creature doesn't untap during its controller's untap step, which means they need to find a way to get rid of this enchantment, or their creature just won't untap. It'll just be pretty useless. Now, with the Magecraft stuff coming out, this card, it loses a little bit of its effectiveness. But right now, we got a whole lot of aggro decks, and so the Magecraft ability on those aggro decks, not that important. It's not that good, and it's not going to help them, you know, despite this card. Anyways, the other Strixhaven card I wanted to talk about is Teach by Example. This one is really, really nice because it allows you to do things like sorry, I meant to put you further out to the side. It allows you to use things like Didn't Say Please twice over, you know, for 2 mana instead of 3 mana, so you're getting effectiveness out of your counter spells. If your opponent's a control deck, you essentially now have 2 counter spells, so if they try to get in that counter war with you, you might could win, you know. Not only that, it allows you to copy things like Into the Story, which means, you know, instead of drawing 4 cards, you're going to be drawing 8 cards, which if you have 2 Teferi's Tutelage down, I think that's 32 cards, right? 8 times 4, which is over half your opponent's deck. And that's not a very unlikely scenario, trust me. If you copy Alrund's Epiphany, you know, you're taking 2 extra turns. It's so good to just nestle this in as a 2 or a 1-off just for those little scenarios where it happens, because it happens a lot. It also increases the effectiveness of things like Jawari's Disruption come late game, you know. This isn't a great example because making them pay 2 instead of 1, you know, it's not that big of a deal. But things like Mystical Dispute, making them pay 6 instead of 3, you know, that makes that late game this can still be a pretty effective counterspell. Anyways, the other card we need to take note of, this is the other rares in the deck, right? So we have 5 rares total, 5 of them all coming out from previous sets, but still got to take note of it. We have 3 Faceless Havens in the deck. Such a good card. It's a land that also becomes a creature with Vigilance. It's a 4/3. It can beat them down. You can use this plus the Avalanche Caller to just wreak havoc. Just wreak havoc, right? Although generally if you have the Avalanche Caller, you can, you know, it's more effective than the Faceless because this costs more mana and still gives you 4 points of damage, except it doesn't have hexproof, and these do have haste. So anyways, thanks everybody for watching so far through the deck tech breakdown. I know it was a bit of a longer one, but I do feel like this deck had a bit more explaining to do. And again, like I said, whenever I'm explaining these budget decks, not that, you know, this one necessarily matters at its budget, but still super good deck if you're a newer player. Super easy for you to build for the large majority. If you don't have the rares and the, you know, mythics, it's not that big of a deal. Honestly, this deck still functions perfectly fine without them. So dive in, play some, mill some people, have some fun with it, and yeah, without further ado, we're going to dive in. If you enjoy, be sure to leave a like down below. Comment in the comment section what your favorite part of this deck is, or what your favorite part of Magic and Strixhaven as a whole is. And subscribe if you're new here. You want more content from yours truly. Without further ado, we're going to dive into the Berry in Blue. Yuddy. It's about to get a little nutty. I'm going to keep this in. I like the Berry in the books. We just got to try that out. Felt nice. Felt good. Felt a little strong. And since it's not a destruction... English. Since it's not a destruction spell, it gets around things like Selfless Savior. You know, it's sort of like a super bounce. Like a super bouncy ball. Anyways, Avalanche Collar. Get down there, do your thing. You know, I thought it was mono white aggro, but they got 2 snow-covered plains down and no creatures. Oh, that one's rough. If they're smart, they'll take out the Berry in books, but I think they're going to go straight for the Tutelage. Bum, bum, bum. They went for the Thirst for Meaning. They didn't go for either of the cards that I thought they were going to go for. What a strange person. So we can't put Elite Spellbinder back in their deck necessarily, because that feels like a bad thing, you know? Feels like a very bad thing. I'm going to get rid of one of these lands. We'll find plenty more, I feel like. Plenty. And I do swing in with the Avalanche Caller. If they want to make that trade, it's all good for me, so... They don't. I didn't think so. Making my draw spell cost more is definitely a smart play as well. Taking out the Avalanche Caller now. Yo. Oh, no. Taking out my tutelage. That makes more sense, for sure. For sure. Shark Typhoon. El Sharko Typhoon. We can only make a 3/3 with it right now, which is why I'm like, you know, I'd rather not. I would rather not. With the Avalanche Caller, I can make a 4/4 to block the Skyclave, though. So maybe I do just make a Shark Typhoon token. We'll see. Either way, I can do all this on their turn, and, well, so I shall. So I shall. How much mana do I have? 1, 2, 3, 4? I'm just going to get rid of the Skyclave. I don't know if that's the right play, but after this, we're going to turn the heat back on them, crack back at them for a lot, hopefully. I'm going to use Avalanche Caller, that kind of stuff. They got a Giant Killer. Not super what I want to see, but, ooh, Ice Bond, that is really good. This allows me to tap their Elite Spellbinder so it doesn't, you know, continue to pummel on my face. Do that, swing in? Think so. I think it's so. Unfortunately, we're not to 6 quite yet. Oh, you know what? I just realized my music's not playing. Wow, that's it's embarrassing. Y'all were just hearing my bare voice. Yeah, that's all right. All right, so we do have the Ice Bond. We can always tap their Giant Killer as well to force them to, you know, tap it if they want to tap it preemptively. Anyways, we're going to go ahead and go for the tappage on this Elite Spellbinder. That's 3 damage taken out for them. And, yeah, we're just going to tempo out this mono-white aggro. I like the idea of it. They got a Lotus? Oh, my goodness. That Skyclave is about to come back down and take out our pillar if we don't do something about it. Of course, I can't. Oh, wait. Oh, no, that's instant or sorcery. Damn you, Test of Talents. The one time I need you to be the other thing. The other counter magic spells, things. We're so close to just hard casting the Shark Typhoon. We can only get down to 3/3. I said earlier we could get down to 3/3, but I lied. It was only a 2/2 at the time. And of course we have Thirst for Meaning to draw some more cards. But all this is instant speed, so I think we might as well pass it back to them. We do have a 4/4 we can erect out of the Avalanche Caller. That sounded a little strange, I'm not going to lie, alright? Now, seeing as how we know that they have the Skyclave here, we have to use the Ice Bond early. And I think we go ahead and tap El Tappy Tappy, the Spellbinder. Resolve that. They should take the Ice Bond pillar because it's just doing so much work. Yeah. Now let's see what they decide to do here, because they can't really swing it with Lotus. They might swing it with the Season. They won't swing with... Oh, they're using Giant to tap. That feels a little wasted, though, because I still got the collar, the shot collar, you know what I mean? I can still pop a land up. So, I think I got something bigger in store. Oh, they didn't do it. I mean, I could cycle this for a 2/2. I can take out the Spellbinder on the next turn, so I don't have to worry about that. And it allows me to draw a card. Of course, it is probably the best thing that I have in hand right now. So hard casting it wouldn't necessarily make me upset, but can we afford to hard cast it? You know, they have such a big board here. If I hard cast that Shark Typhoon, I'm just sitting naked, so I think I have to cycle it here. I think I gots to. They've already passed to the end of their turn, so they can't, you know, do anything really based off that. We hit a land. That's ironic, but sure. Another Avalanche Caller. I mean, it does give us another body to block with, but at the same time, we're at 6 mana right now, which means I can bury and use Test of Talents. Not saying they'll have an instant speed spell, but if they do, I'll bet I want to counter it, you know what I mean? Bury and books. What am I looking to bury? I mean, they can always use Owslet as well to give protection to whatever I try and bury. Not gonna lie, this is kind of annoying. I think we wait for their turn and try to get a test, or so many names. Try to get a Thirst for Meaning out. Goodness. All right. And this is what I actually want. This is what I'm happy to see. You know, we didn't get our mill stuff here. We didn't get the crab. I've yet to see the tutelage. So I'm interested that, you know, even up against a mono white aggro deck, so to speak, we're able to hold our own pretty well. We're at what, turn 6, turn 7, at least, you know. Another Skyclave. You actually suck. They're going for my Avalanche Caller. I can feel it in my bones, which means I kind of want to go ahead and pop something up. You know what I mean? Do you say non-land? You do. All right, let's do it. I'm gonna go ahead and pop a land up. I can actually go ahead and pop up 2? Hold on. That's pretty good. But I also have Bury and Books mana available right now, and I could bury something, right? Even if it's just a Skyclave to get, you know, tokens back. What good is a 2/2 if that's all it is, you know? Do I put another 4/4 up? Nah, I gotta use Bury. I don't know that they'll swing in with anything, but if they do, I can, so I shall. And the only reason to pop another land up is to discourage them from swinging in the first place, right? I can't bury their Spellbinder. I mean, I can, but is it actually effective, you know? Oh, right, it's not attacking. Ah, crap. Alright, whatever. Bury it. They didn't use Owslet there. That's interesting. Oh, another land. Come on. Come on, game. You don't want to do this to me. Alright, well, we get down Avalanche Caller. The nice thing about his ability is it's not a tap ability. It's just pay, activate. So we can rattle this thing off, you know, just as much with this one that immediately came down as we could with the other one. So, and it's a 1/3 body, so it's not like it can't block on its own right, you know? It's got its own punch, its own power to it. And again, we're trying to tempo them out. Sure, we're not necessarily milling them. We're more so allowing them to play every card they have in their library onto the field. But, you know, tomato, tomato, right? Tomato, tomato. We'll jump if you're feeling lucky. Do I block this thing, though? I mean, I could try. Do I try with my land, though? That's the question. Yeah, sure, why not? Okay. Well, I mean, that's, I guess, something you can do. Maybe they were thinking like, oh, well, I'll just try and slide on by, or I'll try and take out one of his creatures. Not gonna lie, though, that was strange. Not a very effective plan there. Alright, well, we sort of have the ability to maybe counter something here. Can also use Thirst for Meaning and draw, but again, it costs us 5 mana, so it's a little steep. I ain't talking about with the T. You know, I think I'm gonna stick to my guns and keep that mana for the Avalanche Caller available. Being able to create 4/4s with hexproof, it's pretty good. Ooh. This is just gonna make them pay everything for the turn. That can't beat the play, right? I mean, we can still pop up a land thereafter. And then they just take Test of Talents, which I don't really care about anyways, right? But this does stop them from being able to use Giant Killer or Owlslit or any of that kind of stuff. Sure. Sure. Who knows? Maybe they don't pay. Maybe they click the wrong button. That's happened before. No? Okay. Well, yeah. It is what it is. Ah, joke's on you though, because I don't think I'll ever use that card against you. It's 4 mana counter instant or sorcery. And not gonna lie, you haven't played a single instant or sorcery, yutty. Feels a little nutty. Again, we can pop a land up, and so I think we're pretty fine on the defenses. Indeed. Awesome. Didn't say please. Come on, you're a day late and a dollar short, bro. I needed you before. Where were you? You let me down. That's alright. I forgive you. Next time I'll ask nicely. Alright, Yeti. What you got for me? Let's do it. Yeah, we are really holding our own against mono white aggro here. And we're budget. Oh, that feels so good. It feels so good. And what actual rares have we used so far? Just Shark Typhoon? You know? That's it? Alright. We gotta resolve that. Pass to attackers. They'll probably just go. Yeah, that's what I was thinking. That's what I was thinking. Alright. I'm actually more okay with the idea of this because now they're not trying that Seasoned Hollowblade stuff. I don't have to pop up some random creature. I am getting a little scared, I'm not gonna lie. Maybe I should throw a sleep into the deck. I thought I had one in the deck, but you know, maybe I don't. I'm not gonna lie, I built this deck a few days ago, so it's a little hard for me to keep up with. Alright, so we have the berry in the books there. We have the Ruin Crab, which I certainly want. Another land. I don't know that I necessarily need the other land, you know? Like, we're pretty stacked as is. 3 to counter spell. 3 to berry in books. And I have good old Ruin Crab, which, you know, eventually does its thing. I think I just keep these two, though. Ruin Crab, it's not that kind of game, you know? Or it could be. I mean, hell, it could be. But I feel like right now I'm fighting for survival, right? I'm just, I can find another crab. That's basically what I'm saying. We'll be alright. I found another land. Yeah, makes sense. Alright, so we got the bear, we got the Didn't Say Please, we got the Avalanche Collar. We have the Test of Talents. I don't know that it's going to be effective, but, you know, it's there. It is there. They have to be careful with the swinging because, of course, we can always use Avalanche Collar to build up a massive hole of lands and throw it right back at them, you know? Because it costs 3, essentially, to get them up. So at 8, we can put up 2 lands, which is 8 points of damage. And then our creatures alone have another 6. It's 14 points. They're at 16 points. So if we were to hit another land, we could definitely have lethal on the crackback if they're not careful. They are not careful. Review another turn. Phase 1. It's not that horrible given I have as much mana as what I have now, you know? Earlier, that would be pretty detrimental. Now, I think we can afford it. I'm just more so worried that that gives them the confidence to swing all in, and that's the kind of stuff we don't need right now, ladies and gentlemen. We don't need our opponent to have confidence. I guess I could have countered it, but I feel like I want to save the counter magic for another big creature or something like that, right? Alright, so here is the time to shine. Pop you up, auto pay. That costs 3. And that blocks one of you. If I do another one, I only have 2 mana left. So I wouldn't actually be able to use Barium. Like, I could pop the land up, then I would have to immediately, you know, bounce that thing because they don't have first strike damage. Oh, if they had first strike damage, that would actually be beautiful. So do I care more so about bouncing this thing or doing that? I mean, probably bouncing, right? Yeah. Whoa, whoa, whoa. I can't give up an actual creature, like an actual solid slot. I don't think I can afford that, you know? So, and they can't afford to bring that back. So, yeah. And they didn't. Oh, let's go. Let's go. Okay. Now, here is the difficult thing. I have enough for lol mages, regardless of that thing. So I can take stuff. Oh, man. This is giving me so much anxiety because we might actually have the victory here. And y'all know me, I have a tendency to let them slip through my fingers. So I don't want to miscalculate here. And I have a tendency to do that. Now, when I go to target them, this is going to make us pay 1. So 3 to get the Lotus. That's 6. Plus 1 is 7. We have 8, which means we'd be left with 1 mana. Enough for a Ruin Crab, yes. I mean, realistically, that's the only logic I need there. Take their Lotus at the time when they got the pants down. I don't know why I always have to resolve that. Like, I can counter it. I mean, I guess, yeah, wait a minute. There are spells that counter abilities now, right? I think so. Whirlwind Denial, isn't that one? Woohoo! Let's go! Took your Lotus. And I played a crab. Alright, now this turn we might have to do a little chum blocking to stop the Hollow Blade and stuff, because we are at 8 life, but I think having the Lotus is going to be huge, you know? We can actually chum block with the crab if I wanted to, or Avalanche Collar, you know? Ain't no thing. Actually, we should probably block with the non-tokens, if I can say English. Let's go, Yeti. They're conceding. 18 minutes and we picking up the victory. Totally worth it. Totally. I'm in silver? Yeah, worth it. Worth it. Merged. Sorry, I pressed the record button like twice. And double tap. Not so good on keyboards. Anyways, I also didn't mean to keep this hand. I hit record and then it didn't start, and I got, you know what? We'll make it work. We got the Faceless Haven. You know, we'll have the lands to pay for said Faceless Haven, so that's good. We got Mystical Dispute. They don't seem to be a blue color deck, but you know, we can find something to counter, I'm sure. Do I go ahead and get down the Ice Bond Pillar instead of having mana for counter? No, honestly, if I get down the pillar, I want to be able to use it. And I kind of want to have a reason to use it, so if I can just counter every reason that I would need to use it, I think that's a little bit better. See what I mean? No creature, no pillar needed. Thirst for meaning. I do like getting a little thirsty every once in a while, and you know, having meaning in your life is jack. With that, just I feel like that goes without saying. You should always have a little meaning in your life. If you don't have one now, well, you know, maybe you need to reconnect with yourself, figure it out. Not saying that in a bad way or a demeaning way. Just everybody. Ooh. All right. Well, yeah. Let's draw. Let us draw. So crab's coming down and land's coming down. Do I need to bind the monsters? Given I have all this other stuff, probably not. Not right now, at least, you know what I mean? Ooh, and a Tootlie. A little tutelage action. But we still have mana for Jawari and Mystical, so you know, maybe we go for the pillar on the next turn. Of course, if I drop it now, no. I'm gonna wait. I can still counter. I can still counter pretty good. I am so sorry, everybody. I hit the stop record button instead of the mute button. They're nowhere near each other on my keyboard. It's not like I fat fingered it. Just 4 damage target creature, planeswalker. Whoa, buddy. Whoa. Ooh. No. Did I need to counter that, actually? I just paid 3 mana to stop a 2 mana. I feel like I got screwed there. Anyways, Teach by Example and Jawari allows us to counter stuff pretty effectively as well. But we didn't draw into a land. I'm going to go for a tutelage here. Ooh, a land. Yay. Ooh. I can't do that. I can't get rid of this because this is that. I can play that this turn, which means I could also play that. I think I'm getting rid of Jawari. Sorry, Jawari. I like that, it rhymed. Anyways, we're going to get down a land, mill them up, something nice, and Icebound. Now, we're at 6 mana, which means on our next turn, we'll be able to use Into the Story and Teach by Example, which means we'll be able to draw 8 cards, proc this 8 times, and mill them 16 with tutelage, which we should be able to find a land within that as well, right? So, ideally, we'll be able to mill them 19. It's pretty good. Although, now that they have the Quakebringer, I might want to, you know, tap it. El tappy. Oh, but we should hit a land, right? We should hit a land off this. Let's see. Sorry, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm just a little bored, and, you know, we just gotta sit through the mill animation, which is fun if you're the one doing it. Horrible if it's the one happening to you, but you know, you can't always be on the cake eating side. Sometimes you gotta watch somebody blowing out the candles. It's not always your birthday, okay? Alrighty, mill them up something nice. They have 31 cards in graveyard. I want to get down that Ruin Crab just for you know, matter's sake, but at the same time we have the mana for the Icebound, so I think no. I think we discard a land here. I really want to try this berry in books as well, so hopefully we'll get a chance for that. Gotta reorder my hand, it's all out of whack. I know this only ends up costing 3, so I do still want it to be in the 3-drop slot. Target creature you control fights up to 1 target creature you don't control. Oh, you think you're Mr. Big, huh? Just because your giant is a troll. Oh no, this says Arnie Sleaze the troll. Whatever. All right, now we just can't pass to attackers because, you know, we need to tap that attacker. Tap it something good. Like that. Haha. How many cards they got left? Still 20? Wow. Now I haven't seen another tutelage in all the cards that I've drawn. I've almost drawn half my deck and I've only seen 1 tutelage. I think we have whoa, chance. Woo, Nelly. Slow your roll there. Buster, Buckaroo. Now, the nice thing about this deck is this only costs 3 mana. We're going to put, you know, one of the creatures, probably the giant, back into their library. This only costs 1 mana, so we only need 4 mana, realistically. So 1, 2, 3, 4. Now, how much does that leave me with? 3? Which is a Didn't Say Please. Or another Icebound Pillar. I'm going to save it for the Didn't Say Please. I think that is more effective. And, of course, we still have the Into the Stories to mill them some more, find another tutelage. They are at 15, so... You know, if I was to do this, draw 4, mill 8, nah, I don't think we're close enough. We're very close. I think next turn we got them for sure with the land and the, you know, these two. Because hell, we're at 6, 7, 8. Well, we could have drawn. Maybe if I didn't play crab that turn, maybe I just missed lethal. I'm sorry, everybody. I'm looking at it now and like we definitely could have drawn 8 cards, which. You know, I think we could have gotten them. I think we could have gotten them. So I do this, do that. Yeah, all right, sure. Mill 3. Oh, well, we're just securing the victory. Whatever. I don't know. I am sorry, Merched. I know what this feels like, and it's not good. But it is a fun deck. I will say that. Everyone that enjoys blue, everyone that enjoys control and mill and all that kind of stuff, it's a nice one. It is a nice one. Oh, they're going They're going so hard on this card. Oh, that's gotta feel rough. It's got to feel so rough. Now we put that card back into the library. Shouldn't have played that land, just in case you hit another crab, you know what I mean? But we did hit 2 more tutelage, so I'm not going to say GG. Don't say GG. If you're milling someone, dear God, don't say it. You'll send someone into a rage. Alright. There's nothing I can do. I'm doing this as quickly as possible. Alright, GG, merched. GG.